Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena gameplay. Just a quick aside before we get into it, I'm going to be trying a bit of a different style today that will hopefully still look nice, but save some time in editing, so please let me know what you think. Anyway, today we're going to be looking at Jeskai Aggro, which is in actuality just white aggro splashing both blue and red. I've been working on this deck for about a week now and not sure it's exactly where it needs to be yet, especially in regards to the sideboard, but I'm pretty happy with the main deck at this point. White Aggro was my go-to deck in the last paper season. I top-8'd 2 PPTQs with it, losing in the finals of the last one, so I had a pretty good understanding of what the deck is trying to do. That said, this list has gone a different direction than my list at the end of the last season was, which was a 20-land deck that was running Venerated Loxodons. It became quickly apparent that that style of play wasn't working very well with Dovin, and that going up some lands and throwing in heroic reinforcements was actually where we wanted to be, as Dovin synergizes really well with reinforcements on both his up and down ticks. Also, being able to occasionally draw the best 3 of the top 10 cards of our deck is really powerful. Then we have all of these threats. With the addition of Tithe Taker to the mix, we are even more insulated against board wipes than we were previously. Well, board wipes that aren't Cry of the Carnarium, that is. And we're only running one actual removal spell main, as we want to constantly be pressuring our opponent. We've got 4 of each of the appropriate duels, 1 of each of the basics that represent our splashes, and the rest of our lands are vanilla plains. The sideboard gives us a variety of options. Versus Green-Black, we have Baffling End and Tocatli Honor Guard, with Baffling End also being good versus opposing aggro decks as well. Banefire for control, Shalai if the opponent has Settle the Wreckage. The rest of our Conclave Tribunals should more removal be necessary, and Experimental Frenzy, which basically comes in against every opponent who isn't the Mirror. And that, my friends, is the deck list. Now on to the gameplay. Okay, this is a bit of an unusual hand with 3 Legions landings. I think it's still keepable though. So let's do that. We do need a red at some point for heroic reinforcements. Let's shock this in and start the 1/1 lifelinker train. We'll be dropping Adonto on turn 2. Probably. Actually, no, I think flipping the Legion's landing is just going to be more important for us, because that will allow us to cast History. So if none of these 1/1s dies, that will work out. If they do, we might have wished that we had cast the Adonto, but I think this is the correct line. Alright, so we get to flip. Tithe Taker. Gotcha. Let's get in there. That's fine. They get a 1/1 flyer. We lose our vampire. But we gain at least 1 night. They could drop a land and mortify this. However, if we top deck a red source, then this game is real close to over. Yep, there's the mortify. That takes their whole turn though, where they're not advancing their board state, and we didn't get the red, but we did get another history, so great. We will continue to swing. At this point, we don't care if our vampires trade off with this thing. What we're hoping for now is no second black and no call to the Carnarium. Well, there's the second black. Okay, that is less bothersome. So, let's attack. And now we have to choose between Vanguard and Tithe Taker. So Carnarium eats them both. I think we're going to go with Vanguard simply because it represents more damage. Tithe Taker could be better if their removal spell is Moment of Craving, but it looks like it doesn't matter. Alright, I'm not super sure what they're on. We didn't get to see a lot there. I'm kind of tempted to just hit submit as is, maybe bringing in Experimental Frenzy as a hedge. I bet they're black-white angels. Just as an intuition thing. They tend to play the Tithe Taker, they play History of Benalia, and then a bunch of the angels. And if that's the case, we'll want Conclave Tribunals. Conclave Tribunal has lost some of its efficacy for sure, thanks to Mortify. But we're going to attempt to overload them on enchantments that demand answers. And those black-white decks tend to run Kaya's Wrath instead of Settle, so I don't think we want to bring in Shalai. So we need to cut 6 cards here. I think that these are okay, but they're less good than other options. They do have some early game, so Benalish Marshal is probably still fine. Let's take those out. And actually, we'll hedge. We'll take 2 Benalish Marshal. That way, if they side out their early game, because they also run a Danto Vanguard, perhaps we can go low. And then if they don't, Benalish Marshal could get us over the top. Again, we're not really sure what we're sideboarding against here. I'm just trying to do my best to interpret what they're playing. Yeah, hand is fine. If we can draw a couple more early drops, it's even better than fine. That is a great one. In fact, we are going to lead off with it so that the Dauntless Bodyguard can protect it. We're missing out on a bit of damage, but we're gaining life gain plus the ability to protect Dauntless Bodyguard. Tocatli, I guess it blocks. It doesn't really stop anything that we're doing because Dauntless says as it enters the battlefield, so this doesn't stop it. So let's play this tapped. That's also the case, by the way, for Riot. Riot says as it enters the battlefield, so Tocatli does not stop Riot triggers. Alright, they do have their own history. Ooh, we have a history too, so that changes things. We are going to go history instead of Benalish Marshal. We still have the ability to flip Legion's Landing next turn. Even if they kill something, Heroic Reinforcements is going to allow us to do that. And they are lacking black mana so far. We're not going to block that. Bodyguard's fine. So let's go reinforcements. And then we're going to crash. And since Adanto flips here, we can cast Bodyguard post-combat. Looks like they're trading knights for these. They should try to kill these, but they're not going to. That's good for us. Our knights get to get big next turn, and their knights aren't around to get big. Let's protect one of these knights. And then next turn, we've got Marshal plus the History of Benalia trigger. They finally got a black mana. And they also have Settle mana. However, I have found that playing around Settle loses you more games than actually running into Settles, so we're probably just going to swing. Alright, don't even have to worry about Settle. There's Cast Down in response to our trigger. Bodyguard's a knight as well, as is Marshal if we could have had it out. We'll play Dauntless to protect the Marshal. And we're going to swing. Right, hitting for 5. They're losing their 1/1. And pass. We have Adanto flipped to pump out 1/1s from here on out. Seraph of the Scales, so they are angels. Love that animation. Alright, so if we swing with everything, they block, and they take 6, 7, 8. However, if they have another land and we let them drop Lyra, that's really bad. Put them to 1. We still have a Danto available. We'll lose 1 thing. Yeah, I think we crash here. Even losing the Benelish Marshal, well, I guess it is bad, because that would make us very vulnerable to Call of the Carnarium, or to the Carnarium. Can't remember the exact name. We'll swing with everything except for these two, because Seraph can just eat this. Just try to push through a little bit of damage here. Alright, getting through for 6. They're going to end up with 2 1/1 flyers, which I think is fine. We're not going to bluff or anything. We're going to play this out because I want all the lands possible if we happen to top deck an Experimental Frenzy. Alright, there's the Lyra. So that was a very real concern. Alright, a Danto. So, if we swing out here, they block Marshal, they'll gain 5 to 6. They block 3 other things. If they block a bodyguard, we can sack the bodyguard so that they don't gain life. I think if we pass, they swing at us. But I don't think we can afford to attack in, unfortunately. There's no guarantee that they'll block one of these and then not gain the life. So let's play our Vanguard and try to get them either next turn or the turn after. A topped decked Tribunal or Heroic Reinforcements might just do the trick. Tribunal is a little more risky since they can mortify it and still block. Also, removal spells in hand could change the math. Well, there is Dovin. So, let's say we attack. Say they block here, they go to 6. They block these, they take 6. So a removal spell gets us there. I think we're just going to risk it, though. Let's jam. Alright, Moment of Craving. So that changes the math drastically. Okay, so this is going to let one of their spirits live. But we are going to give our Marshal Indestructible. They're at 4. We're going to play Dovin. We still have it up enough to activate a Danto. So let's make a Thopter and pass. Alright, history does gum things up a bit. Lyra is a big issue at present, so it looks like they're not swinging with it. We'll make another Vampire. There's a Tribunal, so let's hope they just don't have a Mortify.
I don't enjoy seeing things suffer, but I'll make an exception for you.
Let's tap you. And we want to be able to hold up a Danto activation just in case. And they don't have a Mortify. Alright, this hand is good. It's a little awkward with the island. We do need a third land, and we would like it to be white, but I think we keep this. We have turn... Well, kind of playing a turn behind as well, because this comes into play tapped. Still, I do think this is on the borderline, and we're justified in keeping it. Well, they're getting off to a slow start. That's nice actually. Let's do that. And we're going to go for the 2 1-drops instead of the Tithe Taker. Then next turn we've got History, potentially into Dovin. We've got our Singleton Tribunal to deal with things like perhaps that, though it's not a huge deal. So if we swing and they block, we can't flip landing next turn. I don't know that flipping landing is super necessary. Let's see if they are willing to trade. They are not, so we get the best of both worlds. Play out our History. And hopefully flip Legion's Landing next turn. Ravenous Chupacabra. Alright. So unless we top deck a Heroic Reinforcements, Landing is not getting flipped. Yeah, we'll take that. Alright, so not flipping it. So we could double Tithe Taker, or we could Dovin. I think we double Tithe Taker because it's the most mana efficient. Let's start by attacking with our Bodyguard, see if they're willing to block with the Chupacabra. It will lose them a life and draw them a card. Alright, well, let's flood the board. And I think we're also going to do this. They may play something that we would rather get rid of, but this uses all of our resources the most efficiently. And hopefully sets us up for a big turn. Though if they have a sweeper, then we're going to be very sad, especially if it's Call to the Carnarium. They are 1 off of Find Finality, at least the sweeper side of it. They could recur the Chupacabra, which is less than full value. They have another Chupacabra, so they're going to stop us from having huge knights, unfortunately. These are not knights, they are soldiers. Another landing is actually really good. So if we play this and plus it to 4, then when we hit, it'll go to 6. So it's probably better to create a Thopter. Let's flip our Legion's Landing. Probably going to eat our 1/1 here, as they get to keep their Chupacabra in that case. Also, if they block a Tithe Taker, we end up with a 1/1 afterwards. Then we will go Dovin. Tick down for a Thopter. Play out our other Legion's Landing. Alright, they're going at Dovin. We're going to chump, and we're going to do it with the land creature because the flyer is evasive. Wild Growth Walker, that can be a problem. Uh-huh. So gaining some life, Walker's getting bigger. Marshall's not a bad draw. Let's make another Thopter.
I hope you don't mind if I enjoy this.
Generally, I would like to hold up a Danto, but Benelish Marshall adds a ton of power to the board, so let's do that. And we'll swing with the Thopter. Alright, Contempt on Marshall. That is unfortunate. They don't have enough mana to also cast down, though. Alright, so we are going to keep Dovin alive here. Our stuff's going to die. We end up with some 1/1 flyers, which is actually really good for us here. Just depending on what we draw. Second Dovin. So we could tick this one down. Play this one, tick it up, put it to 8. I think that's what we do.
I can benefit from another's success. Let's add this battle to your record of bad decisions.
And swing in there. Yep. Lost a little value on flipping the Legion's landing. But I feel like we're in decent shape here. As long as we don't get board wiped. Even if we do, we might still be okay. Between Dovin and the Adanto, since they use their contempt on a creature instead. It's not to say they don't just have another one, but... Alright. So you can hit Dovin for 4, which doesn't kill him. And that's one of the reasons Dovin is great. We just have our opponent churning their wheels. Going to tick up again.
My inventions bring joy to me and others.
Put him to 9. And we have history. Yeah, no blocks.
Bully for you.
In fact, our opponent's really close to dead. Well, nope, they have the finality. So that keeps them alive. Though still not in super great shape. Let's go ahead and make a Thopter.
I don't enjoy seeing things suffer.
We'll play this tapped.
I'll make an exception for you.
And pass the turn. Vivian. Alright. So do you kill Tribunal, History, or just tick up?
Every fight makes me stronger.
History's kind of run its course already, so I imagine it's Tribunal if you're going to kill an enchantment. Alright, just ticking up.
Meet my newest friend.
Hydroid Krasis. Well, that's potentially scary. Second Wild Growth Walker. Not too bad. Seeing as how they don't have an Explore creature in hand. They can get one with a Memorial. Heroic reinforcements. Alright, I'm pretty sure that is the game. We make a token, it gets haste. We swing for 1 billion. And yep, looks like it's exactly lethal. Alright, so sideboarding versus these green-black base decks is pretty much the same as it was before the new set came out. We want our Baffling Ends because they get rid of Wild Growth Walkers permanently. Even if it gets killed, they end up with a dinosaur instead, which is easier to deal with. We want the Honor Guards. And we want the Experimental Frenzies. Now, Conclave Tribunal isn't great because of all the ways they have to kill enchantments. Vivian, you saw there, if they're running Assassin's Trophy, which I think is less prevalent now, but still, we don't want them to get stuff back. Then the things that die and leave behind 1/1s are great, because, especially since they fly. But we do have to cut things to fit all of this in. So I think we're going to cut these because they seem to be light on sweepers. And we will submit this. So maybe witnesses are better than bodyguards. Not completely for sure, but this is close. It may be just that we want the witnesses over the bodyguards. But we'll submit this. We are on the draw. We hit a land, this hand is good. I don't think we can risk it, though. Yeah, this is somewhat better. No early plays, unfortunately. No red mana for these either. We just may not be able to get there this game. Let's hope our opponent's draw is as awkward. Yes. I would like to hit more lands, but I would also like to have a play before turn 3. Not that we're guaranteed to have a play on turn 3 as this hand is shaping up. Okay, we'll be alright-ish. We would like one more land, and we would like it to be red deck. Walker, sure. We will shock. Well, we got our 4th land. It's not red, unfortunately. Let's get to swinging. Hopefully, if they have an Explore creature, it's not a Jade Light here. Alright, second Wild Growth Walker. Into Merfolk Branch Walker. That is annoying, but not too bad at present. Do you keep the Contempt? You do. That's aggressive. And it doesn't really do anything. Okay, not real sure about that attack. Maybe they just misclicked. We will do this. And attack with everything. If they double block the Marshal, we get to kill one of their Wild Growth Walkers, which is fine by me. Oh yeah, we'll pay that 4 life. Come on, deck. Give us a red mana. Alright, not going for the Vraska's Contempt. Interested to see if they attack again. There's the red mana. So, do we Reinforcements or do we just Frenzy? So, Reinforcements allows us to swing. Yeah, I don't think Reinforcements is very good here, actually. As, well, no, they're 4/4s, aren't they? Alright, let's Reinforcements. We can Frenzy next turn. This also allows us to swing with our Marshals, I suppose. Alright, that's fine. Getting in for 10. Almost certainly one of these Marshals is getting Contempted next turn. That is if they don't go just land drop Finality. Well, not untapped, so no Finality. And yeah, they can't really afford to be swinging. So if we swing with this, they're going to Contempt a Marshal, and then we'll just be paying life for no gain. We could get in for maybe 3, but I think that's bad. Let's play a land and play Frenzy. Oh, Contempting the Vanguard instead. That is fine. Bodyguard, please. Protect this. We can't play that. So let's pass. May be good eventually if we get into a point where we want to pop Experimental Frenzy and play from our hand. Alright, there's an Assassin's Trophy. So, let's think for a second. Do we want to get a land from this? So, we draw this if we don't. That will put out 2 4/4s. I think that kills them. So, we are going to decline. So, they get to block 2. We attack for a blue billion. Let's get into the red zone. Not sure that's going to keep you alive. We'll just let the game do the math. So this is 12. This will put you to 2. It'll kill our Marshal. Think I'm fine with that. Okay, that is not the one that we're protecting with Bodyguard, so no use sacking Bodyguard. Also, that would prevent 4 damage from getting through. Alright, that's unfortunate. The 6 life gain is very bad for us. Although another Heroic Reinforcements just gets us through that. They have enough up to sack Memorial to Folly if they want to. Okay, that's good. I don't think that we want to swing, though. As we would lose 2 creatures and deal 3 damage. I just don't think that's in our favor. Yeah, let's pass the turn. I do expect them to get back a Branch Walker here. So gaining 3 more. Oh, nope. Gaining more than that. Gaining 9. Alright, Wild Growth Walker certainly putting in some work, and even more work. Another Baffling End would be awesome here if we could grab it. And this is why Baffling Ends and Tocatli Honor Guards are so important in this matchup. We will not be blocking. What's hurting us also is not having a flipped Legion's Landing this game. Oh! Well, we got what we asked for. So even if they kill these Baffling Ends, they have Dinosaurs instead of Wild Growth Walkers, which is much better for us. No attacks. Maybe should be playing out this Plains at this point, just in case we draw another Frenzy. Alright, lands. And we are on the defensive with the amount of life that they've gained. Let's kill some things. And now we're kind of into the top deck wars. That's not a great one for us. No attacks. Llanowar Elves, not too bad. Think they do swing here. They should. Let's kill that one. Alright, looks like we're maybe going to die if we don't draw something. Midnight Reaper, that's fine. Doesn't really change anything, and we won't show them the Honor Guard. Good game, my friend. Alright, so that was very close. I think after playing through that we do want the Hunted Witnesses in place of the Bodyguards. All of their removal seems to get around the indestructible thing anyway. So maybe we even want Tithe Taker, though Adonto Vanguard's also very good. Yeah, we're gonna hedge with this. I think this hand is fine, especially if we hit some more mana. We get to go landing into Honor Guard. We have a Baffling End for a Wild Growth Walker, if they happen to have removal for our Honor Guard. Which we may Baffling End a Walker even if they don't immediately have removal. Hopefully we can flip a Legion's Landing this time. I think maybe if we'd had a Legion's Landing flipped even last game, we could have gotten there. Alright, there's our mana. Very good. Let's attack. Which I guess it doesn't really matter. There's no responses they can have with a single green. Play out our Honor Guard. We've got History of Benalia next turn. Elves, sure. So I'm going to attack with both of these. If they want to trade off their elf for my 1/1, I'm fine with that, as it stifles their mana production, but they don't. And now we should be able to flip landing next turn. Removal spell notwithstanding. And if we draw a 4th land, we can do it either way. That's a good target for a Baffling End too. So let's do that. We would like them to not draw extra cards if possible. Go ahead and flip our landing. Play out our second one. And now just kind of looking to fade a board wipe. We have Heroic Reinforcements online next turn, plus the pop from History. Oh, no, there's the cry. Alright, well, at least we get to keep an Honor Guard around. And Dovin's really good here. Start making Thopters. Next turn we can make another Thopter, Heroic Reinforcements, and swing for a bunch. So Dovin is not getting... Oh, he's getting trophied.
But I accept defeat.
That's fine too. We've already got our red and blue, so we'll just grab a plains. So I think we push the most damage with reinforcements. So let's play another landing. We'll reinforce. Swing in for 10. And even if we get Carnariumed again, Marshal plus Honor Guard keeps us in there. They can't gain life because of Honor Guard. They've got some blockers, but it just doesn't matter at this point. Yeah, this hand's great. We will keep it. Falcon, so Pseudo Mirror perhaps? Let's go with this so we don't have to take damage. We'll hedge for that. Johnny's Pridemate on turn 2. Oh no, wait, this is not the life gain one. This is the hedge versus Chain Whirler one. Reinforcements is great. So let's play this. We'll play Vanguard. And get in there for 1. We're going to get to curve out here. They've got a history, so that kind of puts a roadblock in. We can't really swing with our Hunted Witness next turn. Though we will keep pounding in with a Danto. And we're probably going to have to shock at some point here, but that time is not yet. Right, good on the no block there. We definitely would have paid the 4 life to keep our Vanguard alive. Wondering if we Heroic next turn or Hunted Witness to set up. Just depending on what we draw, I guess. As it stands, I think we Heroic. Vanguard, okay. So they are getting to a critical mass here. We could trade a knight. No, we'll take the 3. Could also block with Hunted Witness to get our 1/1 lifelinker. Alright, so that changes things. Now I think we're just going to develop the board more, also keeps us from shocking. Swing with our Vanguard. Alright, we're going to see what they do. If they don't pay 4 life, we aren't either. Do we care? 4 life is important. Do this, play tapped. We've got a pop plus reinforcements. Yeah, we'll pay the 4. Right, we'll go this. And we'll play a Hallowed Fountain tapped. And I think we're going to be blocking with some of our things that leave other things behind this turn to keep our life total up a little bit, as well as still keeping creatures on the board. Yep, they flipped their landing. Looks like they are mono white. They could have a Pride of Conquerors here. So we're going to hedge a bit. We're going to block there. You're going to block there. There. So 4, 5. They have a Pride. We will take 4 more to 9. We'll block that 2 to hedge in case of 2 Prides. They do have at least 1. So they're gaining 3 life to 15. They may still be just dead on the back of heroic reinforcements, though. They are going to have 2 2/2s to block with. We're at 8. And I think we're probably okay to swing out here since we're going to be gaining some life. Making a 1/1. Okay, so we heroic reinforcements. We swing. Well, let's heroic reinforcements to make the math easier here. Okay, so say they block here. They block here. They block here. They take 8. We gain 4 to 12. If they have another Pride of Conquerors, we're probably dead, but I don't think we can really play around that too much. Alright, that actually bodes pretty ill for us. Makes me think they do indeed have another Pride of Conquerors. We will block. Do we block there? See, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. If they have Pride, we are dead either way, so let's block the most damage. And they do. Good game. Okay, so versus the mirror here, we want removal. Baffling Ends for sure, maybe Conclave Tribunals too. Even Honor Guard is a consideration since it blocks really well, but I think that that's making us a bit too defensive. I think we're going to cut our Tithe Takers here. Bring in the Baffling Ends and then 1 more Conclave Tribunal. Now that seems alright. Alright, hand's fine. Could have wished for maybe a bit more threat heavy hand, but we do have Baffling End. History is a good threat. Rustwing Falcon, sure. That stops us from attacking. Legion's Landing is a good pull. I don't think we want to Baffling End that thing. So let's Legion's Landing and pass. We get to drop History next turn. Second Falcon, sure. Getting pecked for 1 by a bird. Play this. Right, Benelish Marshal. That is a good target for Baffling End. Hopefully they swing with both Falcons here. They swing with nothing. Interesting. We are certainly going to flip our Legion's Landing. Even though it costs us a 1/1 or 2. Now we would like to start drawing gas and no more lands deck. Loxodon, sure. There's a Marshal of our own. So let's play that. And swing with just the knights. Down to 13. Loxodon's gone. Tribunal on our marshal, sure. Swinging for 2. We just so happen to have another marshal. We'll get in for 3. And set back, starting on the make massive amounts of vampires plan. Yep, that's another tribunal. Very unfortunate, but I think it's not a big deal. Right, getting in for 2. Let's make another vampire. Heroic reinforcements would be awesome. That's not what that is, but it's still okay. Just try to go very, very wide here. Another tribunal, okay. Drawing one of our own tribunals would be great. Hey, that's kind of strange. You get a 3/3. Don't really care too much about that. Think that was a waste of a tribunal, to be honest. Hello, Dovin. So we can play you and plus you, swing, put you to 8. They can't kill you, though they could hit us for 7, putting us to 5. We still have enough also to make a vampire, which we won't be to 5 because several of our things have lifelink. Yeah, we're going to plus Dovin.
These contraptions have their uses.
So our knight's going to get eaten here. Dovin's going to 8, threatening to ultimate, and draw us the best 3 cards of the top 10 on our deck. Coming at us. You have a pride? Yes, you don't. Right, that seemed fine. Don't think we want our other 2 Conclave Tribunals. There's some argument for Experimental Frenzy, but I found, at least before this set, that Experimental Frenzy, that the mirror is the one match where you don't want it. Yeah, could wish for a 1-drop, which we may draw 1, but Vanguard into Dovin into Marshal seems fine. Well, they have Rustwing Falcon every first turn. That's okay too. We'll play a Fortress and pass. Alright, another Falcon. And a Bodyguard. Reinforcements is good. Let's play Vanguard. Hopefully we're not going to get just overrun this game. I do have a very fast start here. Marshal. Yep, that hurts, because now we can't block and trade with Bodyguard. No blocks. And we're kind of on the back foot. Not having a 1-drop has hurt us. So we could play Dovin, make a 1/1. We could Baffling End. I kind of think we have to Baffling End. And we are not in a position to be attacking, unfortunately. In fact, we may not even be in a position to block and pay life. Yep. That is a second marshal. We may be in chump block mode. 7. Yeah. Then they can put us to 3 the next turn. If they have the pride, we're dead. So we can reinforcements just to get a couple of blockers. Which we have to do if we want to have any chance at surviving. Yeah, this hand did not shape up very well for us. Legion's Landing, so that's going to flip. Bodyguard, yeah, this game is essentially over. Oh, let's kill this sucker. Go to 1. Or if they have a pride, go to dead. Alright, well, we don't have settled the wreckage, so that is the game. Can I not? There we go. Good game, opponent. Game doesn't seem to be wanting to take my clicks this moment for some reason. Yeah, we will keep this. If one of these was a 1-drop, that would be even better, but we do get to play this tapped. For what, you know, little value that gives, not having to pay the 2 life. Right, red. Doesn't really tell us much. Format's just way too diverse right now. So many multicolored decks. This may be mono red. Double mountain? That's a beautiful mountain too. So if this is mono red, and it looks like it is, mono red can be a tough matchup. However, the way these things are shaking out, I think it may be okay for us. I'm okay whether they block or not here. Double history is really good. And if we could draw a 4th land, we can go history plus landing next turn. Yeah, when mono red starts having to burn your creatures, that means you're in pretty good shape generally. Still get left with a 1/1. Of course, we could get Chain Whirled next turn too. No blocks. Well, that's what we asked for. So, 2 life. Legion's Landing. 2nd history. And get in there. And now we can heroic reinforcements for a crap ton. Opponent should probably not attack this turn. Alright, yeah, that's the way we want it. We want the knight to come first because it's going to get haste. And reinforce. And crash. Right, also them being in chump block mode speaks pretty well for us. We should pretty much have this game sewn up here. Yep, that's a Pyromancer. And that is a concession. Alright, versus the mono red decks, we want all of our removal, we want Honor Guard, and there's some argument for Experimental Frenzy too. Benelish Marshal's actually not great versus mono red. Vanguard is also not very good. I think we're going to cut a little bit of our top end. We'll cut 1 Dovin, we'll cut 1 Reinforcements, and we'll only bring in 2 of the Tribunals. And bring in 2 Frenzies. Yep, this seems fine. Yeah, it's a little painful, but I think we keep it. Also, Chicken Pastrami. Excellent, excellent name. Hello, Firebrand. Are you going to kill my vamp? You are not. You are going to attack. Well, I will not block. As I get... Ooh, that's nice. Now we don't have to shock. I get to cancel out that damage. So hopefully we're not getting turn 3 chain whirlered here, but even if we do, it's not horrible since we get flyers left behind. Yep. No blocks. I did witness. So we could go Dovin, but chain whirler kind of spells the end of Dovin. So I think what we're going to do is attack first and see what happens. Right, that kind of seems like they're setting up for a chain whirler because they're killing this to where they can also get our token. So we're going to pay 2 life and play out 2 more things that leave creatures behind. I mean, this is not keyword afterlife, but it does the same or similar things. Okay, so no chain whirler. Maybe they have it and they just don't have a 3rd land. Yeah, they very, very much seem to be trying to set up for a chain whirler here. Ooh, Frenzy. Even so, I think our play at this point is Dovin. Tick up, swing, and flip the landing.
Whatever your plan, there is elegance in statistically likely to fail.
Right, Dovin going to 8. So if he takes no damage, we can ultimate, look at the top 10 cards, put 3 in our hand. Alright, I still really think they have a chain whirler and have just not hit their 3rd land drop. So just kept him off of ultimating. Let's plus again.
These contraptions have their uses.
Right, not blocking our Hunted Witness this time. Alright, we're going to Frenzy. We're not going to play a land first because our deck is slightly higher concentration of lands than the old builds used to be. Yep, there we go. Right. Yep, there's old Whirly Boy.
If that's your best, I needn't worry.
Yeah, let's hedge here. We'll block. And now Dovin's ultimate, I guess, doesn't matter too much. Though it can clear the top of our deck if we need it to. Yes, please. So we could ult him to clear the top of our deck, or we could just make a 1/1. I think we're just going to make the 1/1.
I'm inspired by a good assault.
And pass. There's no guarantee that there wouldn't still be a land on top after we ultimate him. Yep. As shocking. And that is lightninging. Are we just going to get burned out? That would be unfortunate. Ooh, light up the stage, sure. Though maybe you should have done that before you cast the Wizard's Lightning. Alright, getting skewered down to 3. Played a land this turn already. We're blocking. Hedge our life total a little bit. Make sure to block the non-first striker with the life linker. We'll make a vampire. Ooh, history is great. So is that. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That puts them to 1. This puts them to dead.
My blood pumping.
Alrighty, friends, I think that is going to do it for this episode. As always, the deck list will be in the description if you would like to try it out for yourself. There are still some things that I think could be tweaked around. The sideboard's not set in stone. We might want 1 to 2 Settle the Wreckages in the sideboard, maybe in place of one of the Conclave Tribunals. I'm not sure what we would cut for a second Settle the Wreckage. Everything seems pretty necessary. Maybe the Shalai isn't super necessary at this point because we haven't run into nearly as many Settle the Wreckages as there were before the new set came out. So cutting a Shalai and a Conclave Tribunal for 2 Settles might be okay. Also, this deck is much more capable of casting Settle the Wreckage due to its 23 land count. I know the versions that I was playing in paper before the new set were generally 20 lands in the main and then an extra in the board for when we sideboarded in our 4-drops. In any case, I think that this is a good start to a deck of this sort. Also, a consideration would be the blue-white split card that can either tap and draw or deploy 2 1/1s and gain some life, though that does seem a little bit slow with what we're doing. Anyway, there's lots of experimenting yet to be done with Ravnica Allegiance, and it's going to be a load of fun. So, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comments and by leaving a like below. It really does help tremendously, and of course subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.